Bobby Banger from the block, seen it all raw tough. Streets of Baltimore where survival's always rough. Joined the Marines fighting for a life he could save. But back in the hood, he felt like a runaway slave. Started an army, not of guns but of wisdom. I'm a rock squad, truth the anthem, we ain't just a God killer. Bobby Banger on his path for the truth. Empower the people, give them wisdom as the proof. Black power rising, knowledge shines like a light. He's fighting for the future, ready to ignite. Selling drugs on the corner just to put food on plates, but deep in his heart, he knew he had greater fates. From the traps to the lab, he fights ignorance raw, teaching evolution while shaking up the law. The real black atheist is changing the game, waking up minds never the same. God killer Bobby Banger on his path for the truth. Empower the people.
Black African power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing a house. And I'm coming to do what I got to do. And I'm going to do what I got to do. Standing tall, standing strong. Hey, look, y'all know what it is, man. Bobby banging this bitch. Look, family. We're going to do exactly what it says. Drive by. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see the title, man. Drive by. Cheikh Diop's melanin dose test. Proved the Egyptians was black. That question mark right there, yo. The King's Monologue. So the King's Monologue's been a pseudo for a very, very long time. All right? Sophisticated pseudo. So we're just going to start going down the line with these drive-bys. Got a couple people on the list. Jabari is going to be up next with the drive-bys. We're going to get them in a regular rotation here. Get in and get out. Where y'all can get through the video with accuracy. And you ain't got to waste that much time. So now the verdicts are all in. We've seen the debacle of the whole Black Egyptian conversation and the flammery and the constant nonsense from a lot of different people, man. Hey, look, big up to the great Asahotep, man. He called me yesterday laughing. You know, he just wanted to make sure we was all right because that hurricane ran through. He just hit me up. Yeah, man. You know, we laughed a little bit, man. But big up to the great Asahotep, man. Like I told him, I don't agree with most of that. Most of that what he was saying, but you know he's still my man. Y'all know what it is, man. Look, to them people coming in the building, man. We ain't been live in a while because we chilling, man. We chilling. Yeah, I see you in the building. Appreciate you, Juju, man. She got the green glow. When you got that green glow, that mean you belong. Yeah, I'm saying with the green glow. Man, so let's let the people get in the building a little bit, man. Boy, I see you, Ty, man. What's good with you, bro? Taj, how you doing, brother? You know what it is, man. I know you chilling hard. Y'all all chilling hard. Cedric, I see you, man. Yeah, we got people calling you out. They want you to have that debate with the quote unquote aides. Yeah, man, you had to get them. To get them with that, man. But they looking hard, man. Let me let the people come up in the building just a little bit, man. Just a little bit. And you know, let's see what it is, man. Let the crowd come in here before we get started with this drive-by, man. In the drive-by, man. Hopefully later on, man, goes in and be ready, man, for our show. 3 the hard way, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Starring Gullah Geechee. And Gozy. And y'all know me, man. Yeah. Y'all know what it is, man. Great content, man. We not in the bull crap, man. Big up the Garfield, man. Want to jump on this thing earlier, man. By the time I got there, with some unfavorables around. I'm just not going to do it. Not doing it, man. I'm not hollering, screaming. I'm not arguing with y'all folks no more, man. It don't even make no sense, man. If y'all don't get it by now, y'all not going to never get it, man. Y'all just not going to never get it. Ain't no need to do it, yo. The science is already spoken. And we will show and prove this. All right. So, yeah, man, let's get right to this, man, because this one of them drive-bys, man. And how y'all football teams done? I see them Pittsburgh Steelers lost, man. We're going to be on their heels. We got to play tonight with the Buffalo Bills. See what Lamar and them can do, man. Let's see it. Mungo Slade, what's up with you, man? What's going on? You know, Ravens ain't got no bye, man. They got it at 8 o'clock tonight. They going all blacked out. I'm going to get in here with this half an hour, man. Dive in here real quick. See if anybody want to jump on real quick. So let me get right into this, man. We're going to start off with the King's Monologue because his name is in the big lights, man. We want to show you how they've been flamming this, man. Straight out the gate, they've been flamming, man. You be like, why they keep doing this, man? Say the Cowboys are back. Let's get right to the Kings. Listen. All right. There's a couple people. So let me do this. I don't even want to do. I'm gonna play this. I want y'all to hear this foolery right here. And there was people trying to tie Diop's Melanin dose test with this. All right, let me share the screen. All right, this was the game they was playing, and it's a vicious game, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very vicious. Right here. Determination of optimal rehydration, fixation, and staining methods for the historical and immunohistochemical analysis of the mummified soft tissue. Okay. Mikota and Verminian. Did I say that right? Verminian. All right. So yes, this was a scientific article, and there's a word here that let me know they would start scamming, flam. Big up to Asar. Asar tried to play this one too. Just for the record, they all tried to play this game, and I couldn't believe it, man. Let's see what this word means right here. All right, it's important as we go through what we go through to make sure we got the accuracy. Here you go. All right, immune. Y'all see that word immune right there? Y'all know what that means. All right, history of chemical analysis, immunohistory, chemistry. Let me see. All right, let's get it right. All right. Immunohistochemistry. Let's see what this means right here. All right. Immunohistochemistry, that's IHC, uses antibodies to determine antigens in the tissue sample. It's one lab technique, okay, pathologists may use to check for signs of disease following biopsy. The IHC is commonly used to diagnose cancer, predict treatment responses, and determine likely outcomes, prognosis, and disease. So, go back to the article, okay? So they're analyzing this, trying to find out antigens and antibody, and analyzing of mummified soft tissue and mummies. This is what this article is about. Okay, it's right here doing an excavation head in the German Institute of Archaeology, Cairo, at the tombs of the nobles and thieves in Upper Egypt. So we already know in Upper Egypt we're gonna expect to find Africans that are darker in Upper Egypt. How do we know this? Because this is what the available scientific data says. Okay, 3 types of tissue from different mummies were sampled to compare 13 well-known hydration methods for mummified tissue with the 3 newly developed methods. So they was trying to find a way to rehydrate the daggone mummies. How in the tissue in the mummies? How in the world that people amongst us claim to be teachers and educating us, why would they do this to us? This is clearly a scam. This is clearly out of order. This mistake should not have ever been made. And as we go through these drive-bys, man, we're going to walk them down the line. We're going to start comparing what I'm talking about, what the pseudo killers is talking about, and what the other people are talking about. And you're going to see how ChatGPT starts to analyze these things. So the first thing we want to do is, man, big up the hits, right? Yeah, I mean, he always had his title over here with the pseudo killers when it comes down to our AI thing. So you could actually put this into your AI. Okay, so that's exactly what we did. All right. we put this particular article into our AI to make sure, since we're not scientists, man, but we definitely science advocates, we want to make sure that we get this right before we start making videos and talking crazy and acting like the thing did something it didn't do. All right. So right here, we actually put it in right here, determination about, there you go. But that's the actual thing we're putting in. I say, please explain the article and summary. I'm gonna take my time on this because I want the people to get in the building. Y'all can go back and look at this drive-by. These drive-bys are lethal. We don't miss. So we got it all in there to see what this is talking about, right? But let's go back to these people that was flim-flamming us on this whole thing right here. And of course, they'll make videos and talk crazy. What they won't do is they won't do what we doing. They'll just do all kind of hyperbole, foolery, and act like we don't know what the hell we talking about. And that's just the game they play around here, man. So we, we ain't tripping because we know how they play it. All right. They're not scientifically literate at all. At all. And they don't actually care to be scientifically literate. All right. They don't actually care. Okay. We'll make sure we got our fair usage thing going here, man. If anybody try to get wild after they get beat up, that's always in the cards. You never know. You just never know. You never know, man. It's fair usage disclaimer for y'all, man. All right. First, I'm just going to play the voice. And then we're going to get to the King's monologue. All right. I tell you, boy, they always playing this game right here, man. They always, man. They always. So let me get right here. Get over here. And watch how they flam us.
Cheikh Anta Diop was correct about melanin levels in Egyptian mummies. Determination of optimal rehydration, fixation, and staining methods for histological and immunohistochemical analysis of mummified soft tissues, A.M. Makota and M. Vermeeren.
Okay. All right. So y'all see it right here, right? Determination of optimal rehydration. All right. He was using this in this video. Misinforming us. On purpose. All right. On purpose, they're using the damn thing. Why would they do that to us?
During an excavation headed by the German Institute for Archaeology, Cairo, at the tombs of the nobles in Thebes West, Upper Egypt, 3 types of tissues from different mummies were sampled to compare 13 well-known rehydration methods for mummified tissue with 3 newly developed methods.
Okay, so y'all hear that? So they actually got it in the AI program and they actually reading the daggone article. That's what they doing. All right, but they putting Diop's name in this. Diop says nothing to do with this. We're gonna prove and verify this. All right, let's get to the King's monologue because he's the one we shooting at him, and then everybody in the meanwhile get caught up. They just have to get caught up. And so here's the screen right here. You see it is determination once again. Once again, we see this determination. Oh man, somebody y'all can't hear. So let me see. One sec. Yeah, I ain't want you to see my face. We good. Appreciate you. Let me put this on here real quick. All right. I want y'all to see this. All right. Yeah, I don't want to see me anyway. So here you go. We got the determination. Appreciate that, Juju. She always got my back. When it comes to this thing right here, boy, she stay right there. So this is the article right here in the King's Monologue. Y'all go check it out on the channel. We don't hate over here. We feel like if you go over there with your scientific literacy, you'll know when they scamming you, right? Misusing material. Some may say it's not a scam. I use these words because I'm telling you, if you're sitting here misrepresenting scientific articles, we ain't got no choice. We have no choice but to make sure the article is represented properly so you can get a full understanding. So this never should have been used in the same sentence as Diop's. And so in this particular article, as you see, right, he uses that. Now you come back to here. Let me rock back, right? He's actually using Diop's. All right, he's got some music in here, so I don't really want to.
Although the epidermis is the main site of the melanin, the main site of the melanin.
All right, you got Diop's pictures in here. So he, you know, with his smooth voice, right? He's doing this thing right here. Okay. He's trying to promote that Diop's groundbreaking melanin test. You know what I'm saying? Prove that. And we can see it right here in the words, right? And it says it right here. So he can't act like I'm misrepresenting something. Diop's exceptional scholar dedicated to reshaping historical narratives. Cultural narratives emphasizing the cultural significance of melanin in ancient civilizations. His profound insight, deeply rooted in African culture and heritage, have stood the test of time and continue to empower the understanding of history. Okay? Now, emphasizing melanin. Now, they claim the Diop's had a test that could tell. Now, here's the test. He say in this documentary, Docafoolery, okay, he explores the enduring legacy. Make sure y'all can see the enduring legacy of Diop's and his contribution to our understanding of Afrocentric history. It say witness how his melanin dose testing method has been vindicated. By subsequent research, reaffirming the importance of scholarship and reshaping our perspectives. Why would he do that to us? He's right underneath the video. Why would he do that to us? Just imagine the real black atheists, pseudo killers running around. Y'all be tricked and fooled. Just imagine if scientific literacy wasn't at play. How much would they get away with? Sometimes, I stir up the hornet's nest for a year straight. And then now we circling back because they can't take it back now. Everybody they can act like we wasn't saying it. Now it's all on tape. Now we can go back with accuracy with them high altitude bombers and pick them apart. So like when you at war, we talking about the information war, right? Imagine yourself being in a war, real combat. And in real combat, when you shoot at somebody, right, they now know your position and they shoot back at you. So even if you got rockets and stuff and you let them rockets go, right, boom, now we know what area you got them rockets. And so we can attack that position. This is where we at now. We're in this portion of the fight. Now we got everybody's position Nestle fixed now. We see exactly where they're coming from. We see the material they're using. Now we hitting back. Oh, y'all thought it was over with, huh? Now we just getting started. Y'all didn't know that's how I go. That's exactly how I go. So we clearly see that the King's Monologue is flim-flamming us with this nonsense right here. And he's using Diop's, right, to prove a melanin dose test. Here you go right here, melanin dose test. But he's using Diop's work and he's mixing it up with this, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go.
Each organ of each of the mummies. During analysis of the skin samples, biologists noted that skin sections showed.
Here you go. That's the article. Here's the article. I'm gonna drop this in the chat for y'all. Okay. It's the article right here. Y'all seeing what it look like? Look, well, here you go. That's the pictures. All that's the same thing. All right. This is the article, and he's reading from this section right here. Skin. See, skin section showed particularly good tissue preservation, although cellular outlines were never distinct. Although much of the epidermis had already separated from the determinus, it says the remaining epidermis often was preserved well. All right. What else? Let me see. It say the basal epithelial cells were packed with melanin and expected for specimens of Negroid origin. When they seen this word Negroid origin, they lost their mind. And y'all heard the conversations, man. Y'all heard the whole thing, but this is why they're using this to claim to verify Diop's work. Let's go back to the video again. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all listening to the drive-by, man. We driving by. We got him. Put us in a game, coach. This is absolutely the article. Y'all see it. All right. He's in the section of the skin.
Although much of the epidermis had already separated from the dermis, the remaining epidermis often was preserved well. The basal epithelial cells were packed with melanin as expected for specimens of negroid origin. In essence,
there you go.
The epidermis.
There you go. Why would he put that in Diop's name again? What that ain't got nothing to do with Diop's, and now we get to shoot him up. Here you go again. They say in this documentary, we explore the enduring legacy of Diop's, of Dr. Cheikh Diop's, and his contribution to the understanding of Afrocentric history. Witness how his melanin doses testing method has been vindicated by subsequent research. What is the subsequent research? This right here. He's claiming this is the subsequent research right here. He's claiming this is it. All right. He's tricking you. Subsequent research reaffirming the importance of his scholarship and reshaping our perspectives. We got him, coach. He's now officially dead. Done. Simple as that. Out the game. Put me in the game, coach, because I got him. Back to the article. I'm going to give y'all the articles y'all can read, man. There you go. Want y'all all have this, man. We can't believe they playing with us like this, yo. I wouldn't have did it. I wouldn't have did it, bro. Like, what? Y'all know it's a scientifically literate group. Now, I see you in the chat. It says, Uncton debunked Cheikh Diop's. I actually have not debunked Cheikh Diop's. What I have debunked was the people who don't respect Cheikh Diop's work. See, I respect Cheikh Diop's work. Y'all see I got it right behind me. All right. Y'all see I got Alice Roberts, Dr. Alice Roberts, Evolution, a History Story. I got Black Man of the Nile and His Family, which he talks about evolution. And I got African Origin Civilization, Myth of Reality. Right? So I do them justice, right? By promoting, you know what I'm saying, accuracy in their work. And when their work wasn't accuracy, I pass it on to you, let you know that they got that wrong based off of new up-to-date data. You know what I'm saying? And based off of using anthropology, man, I do them guys a justice, man. I'm actually standing on their shoulders and upholding their legacy. See, when you uphold somebody's legacy, you don't got to lie about it, because if it's a serious legacy, then you don't got to lie about it, because the truth stands on its own anyway. So we can go to the museum and see Diop's. We can stand on the street corner with Dr. Ben's name. Now, y'all can say what y'all want to say and do it the way you want. That's fine with me, right? But the proper critique is needed, so this is the next generation that's going to college, going to universities, right, can continue this research. But you can't continue the research based off of a lie that's been debunked. Makes no sense. So, and they fight, TheKingsMonologue and the rest of the people, and they fight to try to big up Diop. They're really disrespectful little shits. That's what they are. They disrespectful to academia and scholarship that them brothers and sisters was trying to uphold. This is very clear. Don't let them play with you, because they're looking for vigor. They're trying to be very vigorous in their approach because they want to be popular. They don't care about Diop's and them. They don't care about the population in the Nile Valley. They don't care about that. All they care about is that they get the attention. Don't care about the work, man. If they cared about the work, they would use anthropology to talk about this thing. When I made this statement 3, 4, 5 years ago, I said to understand the biological organism that's in the Nile Valley, that is the human population, you got to use anthropology. And in studying anthropology, there's evolution. You got to understand evolution to get that. There's no other way to do that. And everybody laughed at me. They ignored what Diop was talking about. They ignored with the great Cheikh Anta Diop's and man, goodness gracious, hold on. Diop's and John Henry Clark said, John Henry Clark said in 1974. All right. So this video right here is officially debunked. Real quick drive-by. That there's a wild mesh point here that shouldn't have never occurred. And what's the wild mesh point? Is this right here. This particular article right here that the guy was reading on the screen, right? Just because it's got the word Negro in it, right? Actually has nothing to do with what the hell Diop was doing. And it's right here, right? And it's the understanding of these words through scientific literacy allows you to know what the damn article is talking about. All right. And we define the words and we run it back real quick here. We said what this word was. Immunohistochemistry. And we said what it, we read it. We read what that was. Right. So he was basically trying to figure out the disease in populations in the Nile Valley, not the damn melanin. So let's get to the chat GPT. Our debunking system here. Here you go. The paper entitled Determination of Optimal Rehydration, Fixation, and Staining Methods for the Historical and Immunohistochemical Analysis of Mummified Tissue by Mikeda and M. Verinen. It focuses on, all right, evaluating different methods, right, of preparing mummified tissue for historical study of tissue structure. Here's the word again, of immunohistochemical. Okay, the study of proteins within the tissue analysis. What's the proteins? Like the antibodies and stuff. It's trying to figure out the best way to rehydrate the mummy tissue so they could study damn disease. Ain't got nothing to do with trying to figure out whether they was Negroes or not. But this is the game, the unscientifically and the illiterate in scientific literacy. This is the game they will play with you, man. And then they talk crazy about you. What was the objective? The study aimed to systematically compare 13 rehydration methods with 3 newly developed techniques to find the most effective way to rehydrate, fix, and stain mummified tissue for analysis. All right, methodology, tissue sample types. Okay, staining. So they were staining them. They was trying to rehydrate. That's it. The results, tissue specific findings. The results showed that the Nile Valley ancient Egyptians was black. If it had said that, yo, they'd have won, but it didn't. It said the tissue specific findings. The results showed that the preservation quality of the historical detail varied based on the types of tissues of rehydration fixation combination. For example, the placenta, they talked about the placenta, showed the best preservation with specific solutions, skin tissue responded better to others. Melanin observation. They say in skin tissues, the authors noted that the presence of melanin in the basal cells epidermic, which describe, watch this, as expected for specimens of Negro origin. That's where you get that article at, right? They say this reflects the outdated racial terminology, which has since been replaced with more precise and respectful language and modern science. Okay, so this particular, they bring it out. I ain't even type it in. They bring it out that this particular language is disrespectful. Man, y'all know it is, man. But y'all want to keep acting like it ain't. It would take later generations of African Americans to say, we don't want to be called Negroes. We don't want to be called colored, right? We want to be African Americans. It would take later generations, right, to big up the Black Power movements and our struggle for just being treated like humans that would say Black Power, all right, and put love on the term Black. So we understand that. But our conversations about an ancient population, all right, they wasn't fighting racism and color racism back then. They wasn't dealing with the one drop pseudoscientific rule. That's for another drive. By in conclusion, right? It say the study concluded the effectiveness of tissue preservation depends heavily on the combination of rehydration and fixation solutions. It said the research provides valuable insight for future studies involving mummies and offering guidelines for best methods of figuring out if the Nile Valley Africans are black. Oh man! All right. Well, we did it right here. And I highlight the section for y'all. The section showed particular good tissue preservation of those cells. This is the one about the Negroid thing, right? And I just wanted to put that in there and see what it did. Statement: the basal epithermal cells. It says were packed with melanin as expected in specimen Negroid origin. And the paper reflects an outdated. I read that out. Now, what does the melanin context? It says melanin basal cells. The presence of melanin in the basal cells of the skin, a biological observation. Melanin is the pigment responsible for skin color, not helping you fly through the air, not making you super special, protecting you from the harmful radiation that is emitted by the sun. Let me finish. It's saying individuals with darker skin, okay, often associated with African ancestry, tend to have higher levels of melanin. You say, oh, yeah, see that, man? Wait a minute. Of course, the more melanin you have, you're going to have darker skin. Now, you can have darker skin and still not be African. That's just for the record. So it doesn't identify you as that. But since you're on the continent of Africa, we would presume that people with dark skin would have more melanin than people with a little lighter skin. But having lighter skin doesn't stop you from being African, nor does it stop you being an indigenous African. But see, that's the trickology. They'll try to hit you with something. And if you don't understand exactly what I just said, you'll be tricked. And they'll play this wild game. We're not talking about race, talking about this guy. Let me show you. Let me finish this. The higher levels of melanin. Said the researchers were often, were noting that the melanin levels of these cells align with what they expected for individuals of African descent. Yeah, so I just want y'all to know since 1974, matter of fact, back in the 1800s, they were saying they was Africans, you know what I'm saying? But most people wasn't on board with it. By the time you get to 1974, and the help of Diops and other scholars, right? They had to admit that these Nile Valley Africans was just that. Africans. So that's not up for dispute in 1984, whether the Nile Valley Africans can have dark skin and are of African descent. That's what all available data says. And they were saying since 1974, clearly at the Cairo Symposium. So anybody trying to act like all of a sudden that they use this to test to prove and verify that now people have been redeemed, they're scamming you. They're scamming you. How do I know they scam you? Let's come to Hawass. They hate Hawass, right? I ain't particularly saying I like them neither. Right? So here, let's do this. Here you go.
He says there's an explanation.
No, they were dark skinned, but they were not black, but they are not Negro. Because look at the length of the Negroes like that and the nose like this. It's not really the Egyptian origin at all. It's different, completely different. And this is why you cannot connect the Egyptian civilization with the African at all. It's different. Or from Cerebral time, Mesopotamia. It's different, completely. Sheikh Anta Diop is from Senegal. And he announced that the origin of the Egyptian were Negro, based on the statues of Ramses II. And the statues of Tutankhamun was black. And actually, UNESCO did make a conference to discuss that. And they said there is no evidence to have to postpone this.
Another group.
Okay, so yeah, he's all over the damn place. But what he does acknowledge that the Upper Egyptians are dark skinned. This is the person y'all hate the most, right? So from Jabari on down, y'all can't be sitting here trying to convince us that y'all just trying to say that the Egyptians have dark skin, because Hawass says the same damn thing. He just says, yeah, they got dark skin. He equates dark skin with being African, which is a false premise. Never acquiesce to a faulty premise. But the point I want to make here and be very, very clear, that they acknowledge that they have dark skin. So we don't need individuals like Jabari and the King's Monologue and the other pseudos to try to act like they ain't talking about race when they really talk about race. They just trying to say, we want to show y'all that the Egyptians got dark skin, when the person who fight them the most sit there and admit that the upper Egyptians got dark skin. Do I gotta play that again? He just say they got dark skin, but they ain't African. Yeah, right. While he in Africa, living in Africa. But see, it's the nuance to that. He's just not agreeing to the word African, right? Because he considers himself an Egyptian, and the Egyptians wouldn't have called themselves African. They would have called themselves by their name. So he has a right as an Egyptian, not as an African American. African Americans, you're on the sidelines here. As an Egyptian, he has the right to say, we're not African. Because that's not one of the indigenous words for them. We're using that term in terms of geography and science. That's going to fly over a lot of people's head real fast, real quick, and very, very fast. It's going to fly over their head. The point is, we don't need y'all trying to trick us, acting like that nobody agrees that the Egyptians could have dark skin. So watch this. Having dark skin and light skin doesn't make you an Egyptian either. It doesn't. Y'all should understand what makes you an Egyptian. Being able to speak Egyptian, worshiping the gods, and respecting the pharaoh. It's what makes you an Egyptian in antiquity. Having nothing to do with your phenotype. I know y'all don't want to hear that. But y'all that run your mouth the most and claim to read the glyphs can't show us a source to say something different. Hey, yo, you got to be dark skinned to be an Egyptian. So they play this little wild game. Here's the wild game, y'all. The wild game is this. They'll say the Egyptians is dark skinned, thus make them black and African. And I say, well, wait a minute, yo, we already know that. The Egyptians called themselves black. I say, well, they called themselves black. What? They was trying to describe themselves? Or was they using a racialized term? And after I beat them on that, they weren't using a racialized term. They were just trying to show you today was dark skin. Well, on the screen, y'all got some dark skin. These ain't even Egyptians. These is Nubians. So the question is always this. If the Egyptians felt that serious about their skin and thought that black was so serious when it came to skin and the most beautiful thing ever, why don't they show themselves like that? Why did they show the Nubians like that? That would be the real Kim now, wouldn't it? Then you would fall along the lines of Malachi. Malachi used to say, yeah, the real Egyptians was the Nubians because they was the black ones. See the game you fall into? See, in actuality and in reality, they wasn't using the racialized construct. They wasn't ever in a situation to do that. These guys are saying that the Egyptians called themselves black. You beat them off that. But we just trying to say that we just saying the description of them is dark skin and black. We're not saying a race. But wait a minute, bro. Why would you have to tell us that? Hawaii tell us that they dark skin. So we don't need you to tell us that and trick us up and get us confused. You can simply say that, yeah, the Egyptians are dark skin. We say, of course. Now they all not one color. Right, because they range in skin color. You can go on and now and see that they range skin color. I show you this. Let me show you this all the time. Right, Gina Nablowski. Right, she just does this on a regular basis. All right, no problem, no issue. Gina, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. 1 second, y'all. Let me get in. Man. All right. All right, here you go. This is my favorite one right here. Here you go. Get here to y'all real quick. I'm gonna get right to this. We ain't gonna prolong this thing. This thing is so overdone. As far as them trying to trick their way out of the situation, it's the wildest thing ever to me. I didn't know people would even be trying to get out of that like that. Yeah, but they trying hard, man. Fair uses on this thing too. For the record, we getting right in here and getting right up out of here, man. Fair uses on that. Here we go. Watch how easy this is, y'all. This is not hard. She actually shows this. Hold on. All right.
But the fact that we see it doesn't mean that we judge it. The bald assessment of color is completely neutral and free of any judgment. We only affix a value to color through behavior, through acculturation, through exposure to people who have views about color. I like, and this is one of the illustrations from my kids' book, I like to talk about the conditions that existed for much of the time in ancient Egypt as people lived along the extent of the Nile from areas right on the Mediterranean here with moderate levels of UV to areas here in the tip of the Red Sea, close to the tip of the Red Sea in northern Sudan, with very, very high levels of ultraviolet radiation. So along the upper and the lower Nile, we see this tremendous gradient of UV radiation and this tremendous gradient of skin color among the various peoples and pharaohs of dynastic and pre-dynastic Egypt.
So there you go. She shows you the varying skin color, right? Based off her research, she's the ones that actually came up with that theory. Okay, if you're sitting in the chat saying it's fake, then that will make you fake because you're just fake. You're just fake, and you just don't want to. You don't want to have the truth. You don't care about the truth. You don't care about understanding African ancestors. You don't care about understanding the history of Africa and the population. You don't want to know about the Nile Valley pop. You don't want to know about that. You don't want to know that. You just don't. Okay? And I took a lot of heat for this foolery, man. But now we got them. Right? Put them in the fix. Made them say everything they could possibly say. Now we can just go over it now. We can see who was taking that, that whole thing. I got your bar next drive by the experts agree with us crap. Yeah, man. Yeah, we got them. We got them right where we want them. They sitting there. It's a duck shoot. Just sitting on the fence. Got them. Anyway, so right there. Okay. So we don't need the pseudos to tell us about the skin of the damn Egyptians because they backed it up in 1974. So we don't need that. We don't need the King's Monologue to come up and put Diop's work with a wild, take it with a wild putting things together. Meaning he take Diop's melanin dose test and he puts the rehydration of mummies, together, and he put them two things together and he say, yeah, this is now verifying Diop's work. That's a bunch of crap. Anybody doing it is scamming your intellectual real estate between your head, and they can't say nothing else but throw a whole lot of wild slurs and mix you up and flim-flam you. It will never be this clear. See how clear this is? So the two have nothing to do with each other. So we go back to ChatGPT that wasn't in full force 2-3 years ago. Now we got them. Now you got to be accurate in what you say. You can't just talk about it. All right. So we talk about the outdated terminology with Negroid reflects the racial classification system that were prevalent in the 19th and 20th centuries. In modern science, these terms are no longer used because race is now understood as a social construct rather than a biological distinct category. Modern studies of humans remain focused more on ancestry, genetics, population diversity, rather than fitting individuals into a broad racial categories. Man, this is why 3 The Hard Way show is serious. because we get into the ancestry and genetics of the population. Well, y'all run like roaches when it comes to genetics. Race of the mummies in the study. It say the statement in the paper does not scientifically prove that race in the mummies in the study. It say the statement in the paper does not scientifically prove the race of the mummies. Instead, it reflects the researchers' interpretation of melanin levels based on racial assumptions of the time. It say the mummies were likely of African descent. They ain't telling us nothing new. But the use of the term Negroid simplifies complex genetic phenotype variations amongst ancient populations. Does this indicate the race of the mummies? While how melanin content suggests that individuals may have had darker skin, this observation alone does not definitively determine the race of the mummies. We know why, especially considering that the Egyptians was a diverse region, significant genetic cultural mixing. The melanin observation is important, but it should be interpreted in the broader context that includes genetics, archaeology, and history. Y'all didn't do that. In summary, the mention of Negroid origin is more a reflection of the scientific language and assumptions of the time the paper was written, rather than definitive evidence of racial identity of the mummies. But y'all all took it. Now, does this article have anything to do with Cheikh Diop's melanin dose test? No. No, not no, but I would definitely say not no, but hell no. Well, I tell you, no. Diop's melanin dose test. Diop's test was developed as part of the broader effort to prove the ancient Egyptians were Black Africans. It say his melanin dose test aimed to measure the levels of melanin in mummified skin to provide evidence of dark skin pigmentation in Egyptians. So yeah. He talked about what it was high melanin content. One thing about science, man, you have to be able to reproduce the daggone study. That's what we have not seen. We have not seen the verification of that. We take him at his word, right? Not a problem. Okay, darker skin pigmentation in Egyptians. It said, because remember at the time Diop was on, they was really playing. They was playing. They said they was white. They was white Negroes. So I understand why Diop, he was like, wait a minute, they got high concentration of melanin. That would mean they were dark. So I'm not mad at him for doing that. I think that was proper for the time. But we're not going to take what was proper for the time and bring it forward in 2024 in the middle of the resurgence of us having the ability to put scientific articles in ChatGPT and get a full understanding of it. We're not going to keep playing that game. We don't have to. The conversation been over with. They already said they're indigenous Africans. These people are just trying to take your money or do something, do whatever they're trying to do. It's not proper. Diop's work framed the context of challenging Eurocentric interpretation of the ancient Egyptian history. We ain't got to do that now. It say, and it was part of the larger Afrocentric thesis that linked civilizations of ancient Egypt to sub-Saharan African populations. Now we don't got to play no more. You playing now if you're going back and bringing forth Diop's work. You could if it could stand the scrutiny, but it has not in certain aspects of it. The part that has withstand the scrutiny, you can find it in the damn museum, in the Met Museum in New York City. So I suggest you take y'all happy butts there. Makita and Vernian article. It say this article focus on, here you go, optimizing technical methods in rehydration and fixation and staining of mummified tissue. We've been through that. Let's come down to the summary. In conclusion, while both articles and Diop's work deal with melanin and mummified remains, the focus and purpose of the two are different. Diop's test was part of the argument for African origins of the ancient Egyptians. We already there already, y'all. We don't got to fight that with them. It's over with. While Picato and Vernian's study focusing on improving the methodology for analyzing mummified tissue, The article is more about the technical aspects of tissue preservation and analysis rather than engaging with Diop's specific theories. They say, did Diop's publish his technical, methodological, his technique and methodology for melanin dose tests in scholarly journals? They say yes. Diop did publish his technique and methodology and melanin dose tests in scholarly journals. They say he developed the test to measure the melanin content in Egyptian mummies. They say aiming to determine their racial characteristics based on skin color. This method was later adopted for forensic investigation and identifying racial identity for badly burnt accident victims. It say Diop's work and melanin dose tests were presented and debated in 1974 in the Cairo Symposium in Cairo. It say, and his techniques were detailed in his published and publications, contributing significantly to the discussion on the African origin of ancient Egyptian civilization. All right. Criticisms on the test. Cheikh, Diop's melanin dose test has faced several criticisms. Degradation of melanin over time. So actually this material breaks down. It biodegrades over time. One of the main scientific concerns is that the melanin degrades over time, particularly over thousands of years, and mummified remains. Melanin content may no longer reflect the original levels present when the person was alive. This makes it difficult to accurately measure melanin in ancient tissues and use a reliable indicator for skin color, sample contamination, and embalming. See, so it says critique argued that Diop's method does not account for the effect of embalming and potential contamination of samples during mummification. The chemicals used in the mummification process, as well as environmental factors over millennium, could alter and degrade the melanin in the skin, making it hard to draw reliable conclusions from the tests. This the one that's big for me. Lack of reproducibility. You know, in science, you got to be able to reproduce your studies. Meaning somebody other than yourself need to reproduce it. You yourself need to reproduce it, but other scientists need to reproduce it. All right. This is the peer-reviewed process. Diop's test has been criticized for not being reproducible or widely accepted by mainstream scientists. Although Diop's claim to have found significant melanin in Egyptian mummies, other researchers have had difficulty replicating his results, which is the key issue in scientific validation. Oversimplification of race and skin color. I don't got to read that. I'm going to leave it on the screen for y'all. Y'all can screenshot it, whatever you want to do. And acceptability to ancient remains. Some critics argue about that the melanin dosage test might have applications in modern forensic science, for example, identifying burn victims. It's not appropriate for ancient mummified remains. This passage of time, combined with the effects of burial, dehydration, and exposure, makes it challenging to apply the test accurately to ancient samples. Conclusion. Although Diop's melanin dose test was groundbreaking in its time, particularly for challenging Eurocentric perspectives on the ancient Egyptian civilization, it has been criticized for methodological weaknesses and limitations in application to ancient remains. These criticisms underscore the difficulty for using melanin content as definitive proof of racial identity in the ancient population. We went through the whole thing Let's see. This conclusion. I don't gotta keep reading that. How reliable is the test? Let's see here. Forensic overall Cheikh Diop test was innovative and contributed significantly to the debate on the African origin of the ancient Egyptian civilization. Its scientific reliability is questionable. It has not been consistently reproducible and is susceptible to denigration and contamination, and oversimplifies complex issues related to human variation. Therefore, while it may have symbolic and cultural value, like in the Afrocentric community, its scientific reliability is limited, particularly when applied to ancient remains. There you go, man. The Cheikh Diop's Melanin dose test. Can you get skin tones from it? Let's see what's conclusion. While the Melanin dose test is aimed to prove that ancient Egyptians were African descent, its ability to reliably determine skin tone from mummies is limited. Melanin degradation, contamination, right, and the complexity of human pigmentation makes it difficult to use tests as definitive method for reconstructing the skin tone of ancient mummies. Modern genetic techniques are more reliable for such determinations. Is this test still used though, y'all? Cheikh Diop's Melanin dose test is no longer widely used, but ain't what they was trying to say that now it's been confirmed in that little video by the King's Monologue. Remember that the quote unquote melanin and rehydration and the mummies and all that confirmed Diop's work. So see, we know that's what he was scamming at. Okay. Limitations have led to its declining use. They don't use it no more. All right, let's come right here. In short, Diop's Melanin dose test is not actively used in contemporary scientific research. So they taking y'all all the way back to the 60s, y'all. Due to the limitations and availability of more reliable advanced techniques like genetic analysis. Look, y'all know this, man. Its legacy, however, remains important in highlighting African contributions to world history and challenging racial bias in scholarship. So see, this is where it was important, because it was challenging the racial biases in scholarship, y'all. See, all these things are not recognized. So we're just trying to figure out why y'all acting like y'all got a point. Y'all actually don't. Y'all got a point for the 60s. And I always say this, yo, they fighting like they're in the 60s and the damn 70s. Because after the Cairo Symposium, these things were made very, very clear to us. That's why they all had to act like they couldn't read. Remember that? So watch this. Can DNA replace Diop's test? Watch this, y'all. That's why the 3 the Hard Way show is important. That's why the Pseudo Killer shows is important. That's why the Community Skeptic show is important, because we give you the groundbreaking information to help you understand and verify African history. Yes, DNA analysis can effectively replace Diop's Melanin dose test, in many respects offering a more accurate and scientifically reliable way to determine the ancestry and potential physical traits such as skin pigmentation of ancient individuals, including mummies. Here's why. More accurate genetic information. I ain't gonna read that. Let me see. Here you go. See, we talk about this all the time, right? SLC2485 genes, MCIR, all these are genes dealing with pigmentation, ability to predict skin pigmentation. Modern DNA analysis can predict skin pigmentation by identifying specific genes associated with melanin, but they all run from the DNA test, y'all. Wow. You want to know the skin, you figure out what markers is there. Studies of ancient mummies, Egyptian mummies, have already shed light on genetic composition of the population, showing evidence of genetic diversity due to Egyptian historical role and cultural crossroads between Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. Simple as that. Limitations in Diop's Melanin test. I'm going to read all that. Conclusion. DNA analysis is far superior to Diop's Melanin dose test. So why are they taking y'all back to that? Why are they acting like someone's confirmed? What's the game here? Diop's already got what he got. He's in the daggone Met Museum. He's done his job. Now it's our job to stand on his shoulders. It's safe for determining the ancestry and possible skin color pigmentation of ancient individuals. It proves more reliable, comprehensive, and scientifically valid data, allowing for a deeper understanding of the ancient population and their physical traits. Thus, DNA analysis has essentially replaced the melanin dose test in modern research. Man. Can it determine skin color? Yes. DNA test. And they give you all the different the mutations and genes that's at play that will help you understand what the skin color of individuals. DNA analysis can estimate skin color, y'all, by analyzing genes related to melanin production. While it cannot give the exact skin tone, it provides reliable insight into whether ancient individuals likely had darker or light skin based on the presence of certain genetic markers. And for the record, the Egyptians ranged from dark to light skin. And we know this because this is what the relatable data says. Boy, I tell y'all, man. Boy. So, you know, at this point, man, shout up, man. Miss Bennett, how you doing? How you doing? Man, y'all know what it is, man. We right here where we supposed to be at. Man, hit the like and subscribe button, man. We doing what we gotta do. We right here, standing tall, y'all. Man, this one of them drive-bys, man. Man, we hopefully goes in, but come through. Let me drop the link. Anybody want to say something real quick on this drive-by, man? Yeah, I know that contrarian thinker. You'll say anything. I just want to make you famous for, man. You just say anything, bro. Yeah, I don't expect you to understand them. I expect you to say, if you said something different, yo, then I would be shocked and appalled. I would be. African teacher says ChatGPT is mentally handicapped and will stunt the growth of the community. It produces inaccurate output. Why would you say that, bro? Why would he say that? Why would he say that, yo? It's crazy. Crazy, I don't know what. I wonder. There's a reason why you would say that, African teacher. I'm not sure why you would say that. No, man. I don't know. I know you ain't trying to push the racial construct, right? I know you ain't trying to push the pseudoscientific aspect of it. I don't know. Maybe y'all would know. I wouldn't really know. Can't really say, man. Look, man, be looking out for that show. We probably go late tonight after that football game. I just want to hit y'all with that drive-by. They usually last about an hour and a half. Let me see, do I got any more material to give y'all, yo? But they definitely been shot up in the drive-by. They leaking at this point. We didn't expect it. Some people, hey, man, if we don't got them people, you say, ask ChatGPT, what is the oldest humans? Pottery, agriculture. What? What are you tripping? Stop it, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. We did all that on the show. Remember, yo? Man, make sure y'all hit the Cash App, man. Juju, what's going on with you, Juju? What it do? Man, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. Did them Cowboys win, yo? I think they did. So I know your wig is going well. I know it's going well. Exit who, man? Yo, wow, man. Anyway, man, look, hey, expect me and Cedric to be beating up on Stola Mine and Chris. Coming real quick and soon. Guarantee we're gonna beat them up. That I can guarantee you with. All right. Pseudo killers, man. We got a conversation coming up with Dr. Andy, man. All right, let y'all know that, man. We're gonna be on the phone with him, man. Get y'all stuff together in your head, what y'all want to talk about, right? And then, of course, we'll bring him through the show on the Pseudo Killers, man. So look forward to that presentation, man. Got a lot of things going on, man. Man, we comfortable in our approach to make sure we validate or invalidate these pseudoscientific claims that's all around our history. We want to make sure, yo, that we on top of what we're doing, man. Look, man, this is fun for us, man. Right? We dedicated to the struggle of making sure we stand on the shoulders of the giants, man. All right. And so, yeah, it's been fun, man. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate everybody coming through, man. Enjoy the rest of your football, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get on the phone with Gullah and go see if they want to talk about African teachers. You be around, right? Be around, see what you're talking about, man. Get that straight, right? Because I'm not sure. I'm thinking. You're undercover hiding something. I don't know what you're hiding, bro. I don't know what you're hiding, man. I don't know what you're hiding. Yeah, Cedric, you could take that 5 minutes and look up on the AIDS thing. You know, I think we kind of talked about that a little bit. Yeah, they want to play like the AIDS was made in the lab. Yeah, that's easy. That's easy work. Easy work. All right, man. So we out, man. You know, we don't spend them long times on this joint no more like that, man. We want to get it out, man. Make sure you hit the Cash App, man. Hit that, man. Man, go ahead and become a member of the channel, man. Appreciate everybody. Man, I know y'all know what it is, man. We doing what it is we got to do, man, all day, every day. Man, boy, it's been fun. Man, King's Monologue, knock it off, yo. We seen you try to splice them two together. You've been caught cheating. Shall I say scamming? I think you've been caught scamming us. Intellectual property.
Bobby Banger from the block, seen it all raw tough. Streets of Baltimore where survival's always rough. Joined the Marines fighting for a life he could save. But back in the hood, he felt like a runaway slave. Started an army, not of guns but of wisdom. I'm a rock squad, truth the anthem, we ain't just a God killer. Bobby Banger on his path for the truth. Empower the people, give them wisdom as the proof. Black power rising, knowledge shines like a light. He's fighting for the future, ready to ignite. Selling drugs on the corner just to put food on plates, but deep in his heart, he knew he had greater fates. From the traps to the lab, he fights ignorance raw, teaching evolution while shaking up the law. The real black atheist is changing the game, waking up minds never the same. God killer Bobby Banger on his path for the truth, empower the people.
Hey, look, man, you listen to your host, Bobby Banger. Man, stay tuned, man. You know what it is, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe all the channels, man. Community Skeptics, man. Science Advocate. The Real Black Atheist, man. Y'all know what it is, man. We here, man. We doing them drive-bys now. We got them when we want them, coach. Put us in the game. Man, big up to all the supporters, man. Big up to everybody that's using scientific literacy to understand their history and their culture. And with that, man, we out.